Hey Angelo, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing? Good, good. I'm doing good.
Good. Yeah, no, I'm repping. Got the TMT on, so
Hey,
I'm all
same here.
set.
Uh,
Love it. Well, first off, thank you so much for joining. I've been doing this since March because I'm a big boxing fan. So I'm in Philly, so like of course I rep all the Philly fighters. So
okay.
you're yeah, so you're my first non Philly fighter. So it is a pleasure to have you, man.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay.
That's cool. All right, so let me do an intro. So this is Angelo Leo. Saw him fight last year. He was on the Tank Davis and Gamboa card. He had a hell of a fight against Yares, and he wound up winning the NABO Super Bantam championship belt. So he's 19 and 0 and 9 knockouts. So we will get into questions with you. Well, first I saw your Q&A with Mr. Ellerby, and I actually like the new hairstyle.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little
Um.
messy now. That's why I got a hat on, but fix it up later on.
Okay, I got you. Are you are you gonna keep that hairstyle, or is this just for now?
You know what? I think I might keep it. I might keep it. I might braid it. You know, who knows? Let's see what the future holds for my hair.
Yeah, nice. I mean, it's always nice to try something different too.
Yeah, like I usually always have short hair, so this time I decided to grow it out
Grow
and
it out.
do a little bit of things with it.
Nice. All right, so let's head into questions. So just let everybody know where you're from.
So originally, I was born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and
Okay.
then when I was 16, I moved to Los Angeles, and that's where I graduated high school, and then I stayed there for around, I say 3 years. Then I moved back to New Mexico, and then I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada in 2017.
Oh wow. Okay. Yes. So there's a lot of moving there.
Yeah, exactly. I lived in New Mexico, Nevada, and California, those three states.
Oh wow. Okay. And then what age did you start getting into boxing at?
What age you said?
Yeah.
I think I was 8 or 9 years old.
Okay. Wow. Young. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Cool.
my dad put me into it. He introduced me to it around that time, and ever since then, I stuck with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you wind up playing other sports as a kid too?
Before boxing, I was in soccer and karate.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I, yeah, I was in karate first. Wasn't really my forte, and then I went to soccer, and I played soccer for I think a year or two,
Oh,
and
okay.
I wasn't really that interested in it either. And then finally, my dad introduced me to boxing, and I stuck with the boxing.
That's awesome. That's really awesome to hear. All right, so let's jump into amateurs. So what age did you start in amateurs? And if you can remember, I know you go through like a lot of fights, but if you give us like a record and like some of your achievements, that would actually be really cool.
Okay, I started fighting amateurs like maybe a month after I started boxing. So right away they put me in there in the amateurs, and I racked up around, I'll say, 75 amateur fights with 10 of those being losses.
Oh, okay.
65 and 10 would be my
Wow.
amateur record. And then I won the junior Golden Gloves. I won the Desert Showdown, and I won regionals in the Silver Gloves a few times, but I never placed. I placed like second and third in the nationals, but I never won the nationals.
Gotcha. Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, that's a lot of experience with
Yeah.
with all the fights. Yeah. Now this one's also one of my favorite questions. I'd like to ask. So it doesn't have to be your last fight in amateurs, but it could be like anywhere in the middle. So when did you know that you're ready to go pro?
When did I? It was kind of like a thing that my trainer always said, like, once you turn 18, it's time to go pro.
Gotcha.
So basically, when I reached that age is when that's when I knew. I was like, it's time to go pro. 18 years old.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. You're actually the first one to ever say that because I usually had a couple guys say like once they stop doing the headgear in amateurs, then they knew that it was time, or like it was like a certain fight or like a tournament they had knew. So wow, that's a really interesting answer right there.
Yeah, yeah. My trainer is real old school. My trainer back in New Mexico is real old school. So he's like, once you turn,
Gotcha.
it's time to throw you into the with the big boys. And I was like, all right. I honestly wish I would have waited maybe like a year and a year or two, just to let my body develop a little bit more. Because I look back at the videos when I was 18 and I was really not developed yet. I was still a
Mm.
kid, and but it is what it is. I got the experience, and
Oh, for
that's what
yeah.
matters.
Okay. Um, so your pro debut fight was November 17th, 2012. It was against Jesus Xavier Pacheco, and it seemed like it was a very close fight on the scorecards. But I usually like to ask this one too. So you'll probably notice I got a lot of favorite questions that I like to ask. So just to show that boxers are human and all too. So what were your nerves like? Heading into that fight? Like, were you nervous or was it everyday business because of all the fights you had in amateurs?
Not my pro debut. I was pretty nervous for that one. Not gonna lie. That was probably the most nerve wracking fight that I've had was the pro debut because I didn't
All
know what
right.
to expect. You hear a lot of things about the pros. 8-ounce gloves, no headgear,
Mm.
longer rounds, and the nerves will tire you out, and that's what happened. Like in the second round, it was only a 4-round fight, but in the second round, I was already feeling the effects of the nerves.
Yeah.
Tired.
I can
And
imagine with like the whole entire adrenaline and all the energy, it just
yeah,
probably weighed a lot on you too. Man, that must have been
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. But with the experience, with my experience, with fighting more, I got more comfortable, and by my seventh, sixth fight, I was already real comfortable already. I mean, don't get me wrong, the nerves are still there, but they're not taking control like they
Right.
were first fight.
Okay. And then I also have another one for you. So for like a lot of Philly fighters, when they first come up, they usually have to go through like the grind of like selling tickets, building your brand in order to get like the bigger fights and all. So could you talk about like the early stages of when you were fighting in New Mexico and all, when you were like trying to, sell your portion of the tickets and also handing out flyers and just trying to build your name and all?
Right, right, yeah. Same thing. Same goes for me. I had to do the exact same thing as those fighters. You know, in order to be put on the card, you had to sell a certain amount of tickets,
Hmm.
so that way the promoter can make out and pay you and all that good stuff. I mean, he's gonna pay you regardless, but they want you to sell a certain amount of tickets for them to put you on the card, and so that's exactly what I did. I was always uh, hitting up my family, friends, posting on Facebook, Instagram that I'll be fighting,
That's
and
cool.
it got to the point where I was, selling out all my tickets. If it was 100 tickets, I would sell 100 tickets. If it was whatever the case would be, I was selling them.
That's so cool. And so you're young in your career too. So do you keep like whether it's like stubs or fight posters? Like, do you have like a little scrapbook of like amateurs and like all your pro fights?
Uh, yeah, I'd have to look for them, but I have some of the credentials and all that.
Oh, nice.
Credentials, like up in my gym in New Mexico, we have all the posters, like all the posters of all my fights. They're all up in the gym over there. So that's basically where I keep it all is in the gym. My trainer, he collects them and then he puts them in the gym, all the posters and all that. So yeah, I got a few things.
Oh, cool. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, like, like boxing usually doesn't last for forever. So, like, it's always nice just to grab as, like, much as you can for, like, all the memories and stuff. Must
Yeah,
be really
exactly,
cool.
exactly.
Um, yeah. So how did you wind up with Mayweather Promotions? Like, did he like have did a Floyd or Mr. Ellerby have had their eye on you in like certain fights, or did you wind up just uh visiting the gym?
Yeah, it was. I visited the gym, and then through that's how they noticed me through my sparring and all that. And with the staff members at the gym, word got around to Floyd, word got around to Leonard, who I was, and so they wanted to take a look at me, and they threw me up against Gervonta Davis for
Oh
a
my
spar.
God, really?
Yeah, I sparred Gervonta Davis, and that went well for me. It went really good. Um, Ever since then, Floyd really liked me, and then from that point on, they had their eye on me, and then I got signed in October of 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So of course I am a huge Floyd fan. I watched all of his fights. I think I might have been the only one. I mean, there's like a few of us in Philly that like him, but for some reason, some people don't like him. I think it's just because he's like perfect, and people never like people that have a perfect record. But I've been a huge Floyd fan, so I used to watch the 24/7 Access stuff. So I noticed when it was the Marcos Maidana too. They did something called the Dog House. So I don't know if he still does that or not. Where you guys spar for a while. Have you taken part in the?
I have taken part in the doghouse. Yeah, yeah, I've witnessed it, and I've been in the doghouse. It's they call it the doghouse. They don't call it the doghouse for no reason. So let me just put it like that. He stopped the time on me in the last round, and then we just went at it for a few more minutes. That shit was yeah, it was grueling for sure.
It's got to be like tiring and crazy. It's insane. What was like your longest that you went up doing? Because like I saw on like the video, he had somebody go like close to like 29-30 minutes, which was crazy.
Yeah, uh, for me, I don't know how long it was, but it was. I had already sparred like four rounds, and
Okay.
I had sparred 4 rounds, and that was the last round. Was the fourth round, and then he just told him to cut the time, and then we went. I don't remember how long it was, but it was maybe like another 4 minutes that I went. So it was like a 6 7 minute round.
Gotcha. Okay. So I know your career is like super early still. What would you say has been your favorite victories by far?
My favorite victory would have to be, damn, probably my fourth fight and
Okay.
my last fight.
Hmm.
My fourth fight and my last fight, because the fourth fight was like one of it was a 2014 knockout of the year in the
Oh, was it
southwest
really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
in the southwest region, and I knocked him out like pretty much cold. Like he was out, and he was supposed to be pretty good because he fought in the Golden Gloves and all that, and he
Hmm.
was in the Golden Gloves Nationals, and I knocked him out in 48 seconds of the first round.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was a good one, and my last fight too, because um, just because of what was on the line. I had a title fight on the line. It was a small title, and then it was also a title eliminator for the WBO, and I was up against a tough Mexican veteran fighter.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so that was a good test for me, and I passed it. I passed it in the 11th round, TKO'd him.
Hmm. Yeah, that was your first 12 rounder. So,
Exactly.
um, yeah, did you feel like a little tired, or did you feel great like going into the 11th round? Because like it seemed like even on like the scorecards, because I watched that fight twice,
Yeah,
and you seemed like you had a pretty good handle anyway, even if it went to the cards.
yeah. In the 10th round, I felt a little tired. In the 11th round, I was a little gassed, but nothing that I couldn't get me through to the 12th round. You know, but I felt
Yeah.
good. I trained hard for that fight, and I made sure that my conditioning was not a question, and it really wasn't. It was a tough fight, but
Hmm.
as you see, I was able to take him out in the 11th round. So I still had my power, and I still had plenty of gas in the gas tank.
Yeah. I also like your game plan too because you don't see a lot of fighters just literally face to face and just do like, the headshots, the body. Like that was like a hell of a game plan just to be toe to toe with them, not even try to like, walk him down or anything. Like you were in his face the whole
Yeah,
time. Like that was crazy.
yeah. That was the plan, just to switch it up on him. I think a few times I boxed him and all that, but for the most part, it was to stay on the inside because he liked to throw wide. If you throw
Hmm.
wide shots in the inside, the shorter shots are gonna land. So that's
Right.
basically what he's doing. Even though he was a pressure fighter, um, if you know how to place your shots in the inside right, then pressure doesn't mean nothing really.
Okay. Um, so obviously with the pandemic happening, I mean, I'm hoping and praying that you guys are back in the ring July or August. So I guess we could kind of talk about maybe like the end of the year in 2021. So how active would you like to try to be? For next year, like would you want to fight 4 or 5 times, or do you want to stick to your like two or three times?
You said for this year, right?
Yeah, yes. For this year and also next year, we could also talk like two.
Yeah. For this year, I'm thinking maybe three times this year. I want to
Okay.
be able to fight 3 times this year, and then let's see what 2021 holds for me. Maybe
Hmm.
three or four fights in 2020 would be ideal. But
Okay.
yeah,
All right, and then of course I got to ask the question. So our Philly boy, Cool Boy Fulton Jr. So that would be a hell of a fight. Is that the fight that you would like before the year's over?
definitely. Definitely. That's a great fight. Like I told Leonard, the his style and my style, I think would make for a good fight. It's two contrasting styles. Um, but definitely, I like that fight before the end of the year. If not, any of the champions, the goal is to become a world champion, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to become that. So whether it be Stephen Fulton, Ray Vargas, Brandon Figueroa, any of those names, I'm ready for.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, after this interview and getting to know you, I'm gonna be so torn on who to cheer for now. So I'm gonna be all torn.
Yeah.
Man. All right, let me see what else we got. Okay. So could you let everyone know like what it's like when you go through your workout and your nutrition in order to cut weight? Like what are like some of the foods that you cut out of your diet that you would eat when like you're not really in training and like in fight mode?
Okay. I definitely, I love cookies and all that and brownies. So definitely
Yeah.
not eating those that for sure. But I just eat clean. Like it's just like I have my proteins. I got my greens on the side, and basically that last week, just cutting those few pounds. Whether it be water or anything else. It's but for the most part, you just gotta eat clean. You gotta eat clean, clean until you're down in weight, and then whatever water weight you gotta drop, you drop the water weight.
Okay. Gotcha. And then what's it like to have your dad as a trainer? Like, is it like kind of tough at times because he is dad, or like has it been great having him as a trainer so far in your corner?
It's been great. It's been real great. Uh, like I told Leonard, he knows me and I know him. He knows what I need to work on, and I understand where he's coming from. So there's good chemistry right there. And him being my dad, we're always talking boxing. Like a lot of these fighters, they have their trainers and they go home to their families and all that,
Right.
and boom, and they go the next day to back to training. Me, it's like we train, and then we get off of training, and then we still talk boxing. We're still talking training. So it's always constantly boxing with them, which I like.
Cool.
With my life, and at times it used to get hard because we weren't always on the same page. But now as I got older, I understand where he's coming from, and we don't really argue that much anymore. We're just basically on the same page. I know he wants the best for me, and I want the best for me. So why not just do what we need to do to get there?
Perfect. Yeah. No. I mean, like it's like has to be really cool to have him in your corner from being there day one, and then also he probably knows you better than anyone who you would probably or even would try to bring in anyway. So like it's like really cool to have your dad in your corner for sure.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, so I have two fun questions, and then I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
So the first one is, If you could go out to eat with three boxers, they could be dead or alive. Who would they be, and what restaurant would you go to?
If I could go out to eat with three boxers,
Yes.
yeah. Let me see. I'll go with Roberto Duran.
Okay.
Roberto Duran is one of them because just his personality. You know, he's a fun guy. He's charismatic. Uh, he's like he just knows how to get people going. You know, and he likes to eat a lot. So that'd be
Perfect.
um, Duran. I would say. Who else? Who else? Who else? Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't know. Johnny
Yeah.
Tapia. Johnny Tapia was cool. He's
Okay.
a hometown fighter of mine. Johnny Tapia. Um, who else? And probably Prince Nassim Ahmed.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Cool.
Nassim Ahmed because you know he's a funny guy too, and you know the vibes he carried. You know were he had a different energy to him for sure.
Okay. And then what restaurant would you pick if you had to take them out and cover the bill?
Oh, man, restaurant, and we'll probably have to go to something, you know, something a little fancy. I'd have to say, maybe a steakhouse. I don't know what steakhouse, but probably a steakhouse.
Steakhouse. Okay. I like it. I like it. All right. And then my final question. So I haven't been to Vegas, so I have no clue what to check out food wise. So, what is your favorite spot to eat in Vegas? Would you say?
My favorite spot to eat in Vegas. Man, that's another tough one. There's so many.
I know.
There's a lot of places to eat for sure. You know, on the strip, there's tons of good restaurants on the strip, but usually, like I always go to it's a teriyaki spot. It's called Teriyaki Madness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that one is like my go-to spot. You know, I'm always there. It's really good. And
All right. I'm gonna have to write that down because I'm hoping to go to Vegas eventually. I mean, I got it. It's on the bucket list, so
yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
it's the boxing mecca. Sure.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
All right. Well, Angelo, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we see you and face our hometown guy, Fulton Jr. And then, of course, I'll be torn on who the hell to root for now. But yeah, thank you so much, Angelo.
of course.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks.
Bye bye.